On October 12, 1999, a quiet afternoon in Kansas City, Kansas turned into a parent's worst nightmare. 10-year-old Pamela Irene Butler was outside rollerblading in her neighborhood near 10th Street and Greeley Avenue. Bright, kind, and full of life, Pamela had just returned from buying cookies and was enjoying some fresh air when tragedy struck. Her younger sister Penny stood just a few feet away and could only watch in horror as a stranger abducted Pamela in broad daylight. The man forcibly dragged her into a white pickup truck and drove away, making a crude gesture toward Penny as he sped off. The abduction sent shockwaves through the community. Police were immediately alerted and began canvassing the area. Witnesses, including Penny, gave a clear description of the truck and the man who took Pamela. Authorities quickly issued an Amber Alert and launched a multi-agency search. The name Keith Dwayne Nelson would soon become known as the prime suspect in one of the most chilling child abduction and murder cases in modern Kansas history. Keith Nelson, 24 years old at the time, had a history of violent behavior and was already known to law enforcement. That afternoon, Nelson had been lurking in the neighborhood, looking for someone to victimize. He saw Pamela alone for a brief moment and acted without hesitation. After abducting her, Nelson drove across state lines into Missouri, ending up in a wooded area behind the Grain Valley Christian Church. There, in a secluded and quiet space, he raped and strangled Pamela with a piece of wire before discarding her body like trash. The next day, a church maintenance worker noticed a white truck matching the abduction description. Although Nelson fled before police arrived, this tip helped narrow the search. 2 days later, Nelson was found hiding under a railroad bridge in Kansas City, Missouri. A civilian city employee spotted him, and Nelson, in a desperate attempt to escape, jumped into a river to flee. He was eventually caught by railroad workers on the opposite shore. Upon capture, he refused to say where Pamela was, cryptically stating only, "I know where she is." That same day, police found Pamela's lifeless body in the woods behind the church in Grain Valley. The news devastated her family and the wider community. An autopsy confirmed that she had been sexually assaulted and murdered. DNA evidence at the crime scene linked directly to Nelson. The case, though incredibly painful, had been solved swiftly, thanks to alert citizens and efficient police work. Keith Nelson was charged with kidnapping resulting in death, a federal crime that carries the death penalty. In 2001, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to death. The trial highlighted Nelson's cold-blooded behavior, as well as his complete lack of remorse. Pamela's family described him as a monster who not only took away a young life, but shattered an entire family. Over the next 2 decades, Nelson remained on death row at the United States Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana. He filed numerous appeals, claiming ineffective counsel and challenges to the method of execution. All appeals were ultimately denied. In August 2020, after a 17-year hiatus in federal executions, the U.S. government resumed capital punishment under the Trump administration. Keith Dwayne Nelson became one of the first inmates executed under this resumption. On August 28, 2020, Nelson was executed by lethal injection. He declined to make a final statement. Pamela's family, including her mother Cherry West, was present for the execution. The Pamela Butler case continues to serve as a grim reminder of the importance of community vigilance and the urgency with which child abduction cases must be treated.